Minister, this legislation is long awaited and it hopefully seeks to try and right significant wrongs where people were let down by people in authority, by religious institutions, by caregivers, and it has to be said in some cases by their own family members. This bill will hopefully deliver to people who have been the responsibility of the state in any capacity to have full access to their birth and early life details and to fully understand their origins. This information can be made available to any person from 16 years of age on. We have a wonderful country, but as much as we laud it, we have to recognise too that we have a shameful past in terms of how we dealt with mothers and children, how we dealt with how the state victimised some of these people who found themselves faced with unplanned pregnancy, separation, rape and incest. Part of that shame resides in how the state and religious actors colluded to hide pregnancy, how having hidden pregnancy, some institutions, religious and otherwise, profited financially from forced adoptions and forced labour. How in the final ignominy records that detailed family relationships were destroyed or hidden, further heaping distress on many children who felt abandoned, young mothers who were denigrated as fallen women and left with no opportunity to challenge the state or be involved in their child's upbringing. In some cases, this shameful abuse extended to the underreporting or non-reporting of child deaths in institutional homes. And this is a significant stain that can never be fully washed away, although I know, Minister, you have committed yourself and Government fully to address these issues as an ongoing priority. Enactment of this bill is designed to secure the release of the birth certificate, birth information, early life information, care and medical information for all persons who are adopted or those who are boarded out or subject to an illegal birth registration. They are referred to as relevant persons within the bill, Minister, but there are still concerns regarding the availability of information where parents of adopted have decided to no future contact position, and as to how these relevant persons may get access to the full information. And I would also align myself with previous calls, Minister, for some amendments to that which have been previously discussed in the House as to how that process is to be observed. I welcome that relevant persons can access their details in the event that parents named on the birth certificate are deceased, and additionally that information can be released to a next of kin of a relevant person who died as a child in one of the institutions specified in the bill. You have, Minister, included in the bill for the setting up of a statutory tracing service for persons wishing to make contact, share or seek information, and perhaps you can highlight presently how the development of this statutory body will come about. This legislation seeks a vital development that should allow both parents and or their children to gain increased access to their information, which may be held amongst a number of state agencies. It has been known many years, Minister, that information was available in religious institutions and state agencies, but it was kept under lock and key from those who wished to access it. In so doing, it deprived many parents and offspring of any opportunity to develop future possible relationships with their blood relatives. It deprived many of having any meaningful redress for what has befallen them in their early childhood and lives. Your bill also provides for a contact preference register established in law through which people can register their preference in relation to contact with a child or genetic relative, as well as to lodge personal communications, and I think these must be lauded within the bill, Minister. It also provides for protections by statute for the safeguarding of future relevant records, and I think again, Minister, this has been previously cited and is to be welcomed. One of the key standouts of this bill is also, for the first time, relates to the information versus privacy debate. Under this bill, if enacted into new law, even if a biological parent says they don't wish their child to get access to a birth cert or related information, that adopted person will get access to that information, and that is a significant step forward, Minister. On the face of it, this bill appears to significantly pave the way for a greater degree of transparency for those who up to now have been largely kept into the dark as their family origin or to what blood relatives they may have. A question still remains as to will this bill deliver totally unrestricted, no holds barred access to full birth and origin information for relevant persons, Minister. There is no doubt that for some people the passing of this bill will possibly create a high degree of discomfort. possibly for mothers who, for whatever reason, had to, in the past, give up their children. The wishes of mothers who have expressed their wish to remain anonymous, possibly because a birth remains secret in their present family circumstance, must be balanced against the rights of those who are desperately trying to understand their origins and birth details, and I think this legislation will go a fair way towards that, Minister. The balance here is to be restricted. For some parents and children who are both still living, reconciliation, if desired, may now be an impossible task, and a further relationship may not be possible or perhaps desirable from the perspective of one or both parties. For some people, the search of their histories may purely be understood to pursue medical and congenital medical issues which they may have concerns about, rather than any wish they harbour to pursue a family lineage that they may feel they are permanently excluded from. But I think for many, most of all, Minister, understanding one's origins are at the heart of this question that people are asking, who am I, and have asked it for too long. Many people, as I say, have suffered at the hands of state-supported actors in having their true origins or identities revealed to them. For a large number, it has coloured their lives. It has led many to harbour and have feelings of confusion, doubt, anxiety and soul-searching. And many mothers too, it has to be said, who have suffered forced adoption, not knowing where their children were in later life or how they were developing. This has also taken an extreme toll, Minister, and I would align myself with Deputy Boyd Barrett in terms of that further information and securities must be provided for mothers who are trying to pursue where they're adopted, in the case of forced adopted, where their children have finished up. We can never truly wipe the slate clean in relation to how so many mothers and babies were treated so cruelly and often inhumanely in and by our state. But it is absolutely incumbent on us all now, as legislators in this country, that we do everything possible to draw a line under our savage contemporary history and ensure that in this new century, that those who were failed in the past are now supported fully, that those who were victimised receive recognition and adequate redress, but most of all, that for those for whom every day brought feelings of loss and abandonment, that they now feel found, that they feel valued, that they feel recognised for what they have endured. Caramagat, Concorda.